Countdown, Eagles, Cowboys. We are at
3 hours.
3 hours.
Close.
I'm going to give you 25 minutes, and I'm out of here.
Meanwhile, stay with the full hour. That's okay.
I got to get going.
Is there a chance Justin Herbert outplays Mahomes in Brazil?
Literally never happened, but maybe.
Yeah, because he's the next Peyton Manning.
Oh, that's right.
I keep seeing these graphics.
Weird games. If it's in Brazil, who mentioned that earlier today? Who mentioned international games having odd outcomes?
What do you mean?
Exactly. He did the same exact thing. He was just mentioning it. Well, KW, you don't know what's going to happen.
ATL.
It's not an L.
He's so mad.
It's not an L.
Then why can't you just take it?
What? Eagles favored by 8.5. Could be closer.
See?
Jalen has to throw the ball.
Last year, 2 blowouts against Cowboys. At the same time, Dak does pretty well against Sirianni. Here's his numbers against Sirianni's Eagles. Now, granted, Sirianni has had all sorts of different defenses, really good and literally the worst. But Dak's record is 4-1. The team scores
38 points a game. Holy moly!
300 yards a game, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a passer rating of 127. Now, no one, despite this graphic, wants to pick the Cowboys, so we had to move the lines a little bit to, is anyone willing to guarantee a blowout?
Wow.
Guaranteed blowout.
14 points or more. I'm not saying 30.
Yeah.
No.
What a blowout is 14?
14 is not a blowout. It's not a
What's
blowout.
a blowout?
Yes,
In
it
the
is.
NFL, it's a blowout. As the gambling side of the tape.
28-14 does not feel like a blowout.
That is a blowout.
That's
It's not a blowout.
It's going to be at least 14. That's the official definition of a blowout.
I agree
14
with
or more.
Brew.
I don't want to be, this is going to hurt your feelings again. What was the Super Bowl? A mega blowout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
A route.
If 14 can be like a minimum
demolition.
threshold for a blowout.
What's the higher end of blowout? When do we get to a route?
30.
30?
I mean,
There
I don't know.
are
I mean,
degrees
I
of
mean,
blowout.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought 14 is like, ooh, not great.
buddy, hold on.
I mean, I think they might beat about more than
21-7
that.
blowout?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, 21-7.
Shut them down and you put up.
And by the
3
way,
touchdowns.
I'll take it a step further. Ohio State blew out Texas this weekend.
Okay.
They were up 14-0, and they were in control the
won't
whole
go
game.
that
Like
far,
no, I'm saying, but KW.
that's not.
I don't want to. This is maybe not the point of it.
No, but 24-10, I wouldn't be like, oh my
Okay,
God.
well, I mean, but 8.5 is a huge point spread, right?
I agree with that.
Okay, so that's a huge point spread. If they were favored by 13 and a half,
Well, that's
Right.
we would say they're expecting what? A blowout. Because they're expected to maybe lose by 14 points. So
now
let
you
Brew answer his
understand,
question.
right?
Disagree.
Brew is guaranteeing a 14-point or more loss.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All those stats, those
Such a dumb
gaudy
show.
stats you showed from Dak, that was all cute, well and good.
Yeah.
Several things about that. You can throw the graphic back up again.
Oh, sure.
Those all came when the Cowboys were a very good team, when they were winning 12 games a year, right? Those all came when he had a solid or stout running game, right?
Sure.
Somebody rushing Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, whoever it was, getting more than, or both of them combined, getting more than 1,000 yards. He has none of that now. The team is not very good. He, doesn't have a very good run game. Vic Fangio, who's obviously the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, not including in any of these games, but he has owned the Cowboys he's beaten them 4 straight times with Denver, with Philadelphia, with Miami. So I understand that Dak is going to have to throw the football. I think the defense is going to get scored on. He may put up big numbers, but I just think that Philly's offense is going to have no problem with Dallas's defense. And then I think their defense will shut down the Cowboys for the most part.
It's very hard, if ever, for me to guarantee a blowout in the NFL. It's normally something that I'll do week 12, week 14, like one team has quit, been decimated by injuries, season's over. Week 1, guaranteeing a blowout is tough. And Dak, not only against Nick Sirianni, went back and looked, and I'm not a trend better. We've been gambling long enough for you to know that. But, when he's been a big underdog, he's always delivered. These are the largest games that Dak Prescott has been an underdog since he's been the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He's won outright in any game where he was 7 or a 7.5 point underdog. The game where he was an 8.5 point underdog.
Remember that? It was season opener, right?
Well, so it's the exact same scenario as this one. He was injured the year before. People thought Dallas was going to be bad. They opened against the Bucs, who were the defending champs.
Didn't he throw the ball like 50 times?
Yes, he had it was like 400 yards, whatever.
Yeah, most of those are 7 years ago.
Okay, but
because
they're not that
dogs.
They're not that big of an.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that was a big difference in that Dallas team. You had Ezekiel Elliott.
I'm not saying the team is the same,
but
Dak,
I ask you a question
he
off
gets
that?
underrated this much, tends to deliver.
Is that a product of people forgetting how good Dak Prescott actually is?
I think that you can certainly make that argument. Yeah, like last year, Dak was not good. And I heard you say earlier, he played half the games. They were 3-5, and the 3 wins weren't that impressive.
Right.
Frankly, they were low-scoring wins against bad teams. So Dak last year wasn't good, but a lot of things about Dallas last year weren't good. Mike McCarthy was on the way out. They had no running game. They had injuries on both sides of the ball. Like that was just everything bad happening at once to Dallas. I think Dallas can score.
Yeah.
We're 1 year removed from them being the best offense in football. Led the league in scoring. They added George Pickens to go with CeeDee Lamb against a young defense and an inexperienced secondary. I'm not guaranteeing a blowout.
So yeah, so that is the part of this. The last part you said is to me the most important. I think there is a huge question about how, at least for the month of September, if not the whole year, but certainly the month of September, how good Philly's defense is going to be. And so I think when you have that many new players and that leaning on that many young guys and what appears to be a real weakness to start a year in an aspect of it, which should be your pass defense. They don't have a dominant edge or an edge that really scares you for the first time since Sirianni's been there, and they lost 4 contributing secondary players. The 2 guys that are coming back are obviously the young players who were excellent last year, their first and second round pick. So if you have a team that I think early in the year teams are going to be able to pass on, and another team who the only thing we like about them is their passing game. Like right now with Dallas, the only part of their team that we look at as, I think, well above league average is the quarterback-receiver tandems. That, to me, is a recipe of a team that it's going to be hard to blow out because they are going to be, even if they're down 27-10, they're going to be, firing it. They're going to be staying in the fight. So I would not at all be shocked by Dallas covering the spread, by this being a game within the margins that Philly wins because they're the better, more complete, as much as this pains me to say, I have to say it, probably better coach team. And, I haven't seen Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer's never lost a game. So
John Madden.
But I think Dallas should be able to score against Philly tonight.
Put this line in perspective, Danny. It's tied for the second largest Broncos-Titans. So Cam Ward up against that Broncos defense. They're like, 8.5. So this feels large to me. And then
Well, it's the biggest. Did your graphic say it's the biggest underdog Dak's ever been?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the biggest underdog he's ever been, tied with playing defending champion Tom Brady on the road in week 1. Like, it's a huge, huge number.
The Pickens element, I don't know if we've talked about it enough. Like, if I'm Vic Fangio, say what you will about the Chiefs game, and like maybe Andy Reid is such a genius that he was showing Fangio stuff he never saw before, but I felt like we kind of knew what the Chiefs were going to be in the Super Bowl. I've got no idea how Pickens is going to be utilized here. New coach, new offense.
Well, he's going from one of the lowest volume passing teams in the NFL to one of the highest volume passing teams in the NFL.
Fascinating.
It's a pretty good spot for Pickens.
I believe in Jalen Hurts. I'm allowed to say that?
Well,
do you?
Hold on. Are you guaranteeing a blowout? You're the one who didn't answer.
I said I am the mayor of fair. I am not willing to guarantee a blowout.
Are you willing to guarantee a win?
Of course.
Okay.
I would almost
so they're not on upset alert.
No, I would almost prefer like a boa constrictor type of win.
Oh, okay.
Just like, oh no, like Saquon ran again. They're controlling the clock again. Oh no, it's 3rd and 2. Jalen picked it up again. Like I kind of like that blue collar win.
Okay.
Not like you guys about the fireworks.
The light show.
Yeah. Ravens at Bills Sunday night. So much of these teams' storylines, Danny, are tied to ultimate playoff success or lack thereof. Bills, Ravens, and the early aughts Colts. Only teams with 80 or more wins in 7 years without a Super Bowl appearance. At the same time, you can't win the Super Bowl in week 1. So what is on the line for Josh and Lamar in this specific game?
It's a weird one because it's kind of like everything and nothing. This is the biggest game of week 1.
Yep.
2 Super Bowl contenders, first and second for MVP, 2 SBOB teams. Like, it's fascinating. We're all going to watch. It's going to do a huge number. It's going to be amazing. But just last year, Baltimore blows out Buffalo.
You know, people don't talk about that.
Yeah, they don't talk about it enough. In the regular season, and you're like, oh, so Baltimore lands the first punch for, you know, tiebreakers in standings or home field advantage, and Lamar lands the big punch for MVP. But then when they play in the playoffs, the game's in Buffalo, and Josh Allen's the MVP. So, like, it's the first punch for MVP and for home field advantage, but we know it doesn't really matter. Like, on Monday, we're going to come in and say, Buffalo and Baltimore can both win the Super Bowl, and Josh and Lamar can both be MVP.
Yes, but I disagree with the idea that it does. I think it matters immensely. I think that game, the playoff game might have been different if it were in Baltimore, and winning that game was the only reason that they had a chance late into the year for that game to be in Baltimore. Now, they weren't able, you know, they squandered too many other games, not too many, just one extra other game that cost it for them. I also think that right now, the only thing Lamar has to, like, definitive thing to hang his hat on is, man, I am the man in the regular season in this league. You know what? Like, we have his regular, especially as Mahomes the last couple years, numbers have dropped. Lamar is now, as you talk about, Brew, has more All-Pros than Patrick, has the same MVPs as Patrick. His regular season winning percentage is not to Patrick, but it clears everybody else. And I think it is, and by the way, and this has been, we'll talk about it more tomorrow, I assume, this is shocking that the Ravens are road favorites. Like, this line is flipped. The Bills, like, this is a bit of an indictment to me on, or maybe too much of a compliment for Baltimore, I don't know. But for the Bills, remember the story was the Bills favored in every game. Yeah. 3 months ago, and I was like, yeah, that's because they play the Ravens and the Chiefs in Buffalo, and they're going to be a favorite in every home game. But they're not. Like, so Lamar's supposed to win. Lamar got, you know, beat by Josh last year in the playoffs. Lamar is the regular season kind of king right now. So I think there's more pressure on Lamar than there is Josh in this game.
Here's the other thing, and I mentioned this earlier, Buffalo's schedule. Like, even if they lose this game, they've got the Jets, they got the Dolphins, the Saints.
It's a soft next week.
Right. Like, even if they lose, they're going to run off 5, 6 straight wins, whatever it might be.
Can I give you a counterpoint to that?
Yeah.
To say, I thought it was a great point that you said earlier
about their schedule. If you lose, and then you play a bunch of tomato cans, and then you hit your bye, and then you got.
You're saying if they lose the Ravens and the Chiefs,
do those feel like? Yeah. Do those feel like empty? Like, man, we're supposed to be. We're stacking wins against New Orleans and Miami. But, like, man, Baltimore really handled us. And if the Chiefs get.
New England is supposed to be good.
Trap game.
Yeah.
No, but do you think that could be a thing that even if they do start 1-4?
Or 4-1.
No, I think they look at the regular season. Because remember, they, like you said, they got blown out by Baltimore last year, then beat them in the playoffs. They've consistently beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but then lost in the playoffs. So I think they can keep perspective. And the schedule's soft enough, they're always going to have a good record. Conversely, for the Ravens, they got Detroit and Cleveland, which they should win.